On the pole is Jeff Jefferson. His father, a well-known figure in NASCAR Winston West Racing. Jeff is relatively new. And Jeff, you sure turned some heads today. How'd you get here?
We just been working hard on the car, and came down here and ran good and ran a smooth lap and put us on the pole.
Now, I know you got a lot of help out there to get you here, but was Dad any influence at you at all around this racetrack?
Oh, yeah. Him and Harry and Derek and Chad, they've all been here, and it helps out a lot, and hopefully it'll help out more today, and we'll finish well.
Oh, we'll see if Jeff Jefferson's qualifying lap was a precursor to what's happening later on today. He'll start the front row of the NAPA 200.
The Derek and Chad Jeff mentioned there, Derek Cope and Chad Little, a couple of former drivers of his dad's car. Weather conditions, you see, very overcast. It did rain earlier in the day today. Still a good chance of another shower. We may see that before this NAPA Auto Parts 200 is completed. Engines are fired. Field begins to roll for parade and pace laps. The green flag is coming up from Portland in just a minute on Speedvision. Hope you'll stay with us. Speedvision's coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series is sponsored by Food for Less Supermarkets, by Jenny King, proud sponsor of Eric Norris, by Monaco Enterprises, providing home theater designs and installation, by NAPA celebrating 75 years, by the Orleans Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, and by REMAX, the real estate leader.
This Speedvision program is brought to you by NICODERM CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
There's a new way to quit smoking. Take a good look. You may never see it again. Introducing Clear NICODERM CQ. For relieving tough nicotine cravings 24 hours a day, Clear's every bit as effective as the original CQ. Plus, it's a more private way to quit.
There's something different about you.
Yes, there is. Clear NICODERM CQ. Want a clear shot at quitting? Well, here's your window of opportunity.
I'm Mario Andretti, and you're watching Speedvision.
You know, NASCAR's been a part of my family for almost 30 years. First of all, I got in this business because I'm a race fan. I went to race as a little kid. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss hanging out in the garage with the guys, the camaraderie, that bumping and grinding that we do on Sunday. The fans, the drivers, the crews, it's just a way of life. For 40 years, I've gotten up on Sunday, put my helmet on, and raced. I'm really going to miss it.
Well, in the Truck Series, you know, we're not afraid to beat and bang a little bit to get the spot or to get the win.
Competition is so stiff, you got to rough somebody up to get to the front.
You know, when you're looking in the rearview mirror, they're your friend. If you're looking through the windshield, they're your enemy.
You have to use that chrome horn and lay the bumper to the guy in front of you.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series is as tough as it gets, bud.
Set to start the NAPA Auto Parts 200 at Portland Speedway in Oregon on Speedvision. Here's a look at the starting lineup for today's race. Rookie Jeff Jefferson on pole alongside the former series champ Bill Sedgwick, who starts outside row 2. It's Eric Norris and Sean Woodside in his second start of the 2000 season. The third row, Steve Portingay and Bobby Donner, winner of the last 2 series races here on Speedvision. Fourth row, Portland veteran Dan Obrist and Winston West rookie Rick Bogart. In row number 5, it's Scott Gaylord, the veteran, and last year's Rookie of the Year, Jason Small.
Butch Miller will roll off 11th and head up the second 10 here with Herschel McGriff alongside. Behind them, Kevin Culver from Portland, Oregon, and Troy Klein, Hawthorne, California. Kevin Richards will start on row number 8 alongside John Metcalf, the Colorado veteran, as Alan likes to call him.
Brendan Gaughan, the series point leader. He's inside of row 9. And spectacular rookie Mike Duncan. Alongside, there's Joe Bean, the San Diego veteran, and Rod Bennett on the outside of row number 10.
Jack Sellers will make up row 11 alongside Gary Morris. And in the 12th and final row, Gene Christensen and Sammy Potashnik. Sammy had a little trouble in qualifying. He's going to start shotgun on the field. We look for him to move up through the run, though, through the field during the run.
Some in-car cameras we'll ride along with during our coverage of the race. Eric Norris is on board. Eric starting his race back in 3rd position. I say back in 3rd position. That's pretty close to the front. There's Kevin Richards.
He's been real strong all year long, right up near the front. In fact, he's second in points.
Kevin starting 15th today. The REMAX car, John Metcalf. 16th is where he'll take the green flag from, the Colorado veteran.
That would be him. Coming on the outside here at the Portland racetrack. The groove is multi, though. Those guys can run on the bottom or the top. Here's Brendan Gaughan, points leader, starting deep in the field. It's kind of interesting, isn't it, Alan?
17th position for Brendan. He's got some work cut out for him on the short track. And there's Joe Bean, the veteran from San Diego. 19th position is where the 37-year-old will take the green flag from.
This year has been such an exciting year on the Winston West circuit, man. These guys have mixed it up. You see the point leader starting 17th. That just tells you the class of cars in this field.
So we're getting set to go. The pace car heads for the opening of pit road, which is on the backstretch here at Portland. And it will be Jeff Jefferson and Bill Sedgwick who will lead him around to the green flag. It's the 7th event of 12 in the 2000 campaign for the NASCAR Winston West Series and the final race on the pavement here at historic Portland Speedway. The field is off of turn number 4 and coming down for the start. Green flag.
That was a veteran move by the rookie there, Jeff Jefferson, on the start. You could see Sedgwick trying to inch ahead on him a little bit, but Jefferson waited, and then once he got in the position where he wanted to be, with Sedgwick falling back a little bit, he jumped on the gas and took the lead on the first lap here. He set on the pole. I think it'd be interesting to see what this rookie can do during a 200-lap race here.
Okay, he's got a little while to go. Jefferson leading. Sedgwick has fallen in second. That is Sean Woodside, who's fallen into third. And now the race shaping up for the 4th spot just behind them. As we look at Sedgwick starting to apply a little pressure to the race leader, Jefferson.
You can already see those two distinct lines that I was telling you about. Jefferson's kind of content with running in the middle of the racetrack or on the lower side, but yet getting the thing up off the bottom. And Sedgwick was dove right down on the bottom of the track, right next to the grass. You'll see a lot of that during the race tonight.
There's Sean Woodside way up high in 3rd position. Kind of a 5-car breakaway right off the start here in the opening laps.
We saw some great competition on the short track at Irwindale when we last visited the Winston West Series, and it looks like it's shaping up to be the same thing here at Portland. These guys, they're in these cars that are just like Winston Cup cars. You can tell by the similarity in the looks. They're just like them. There's just minor differences in the engines, but they handle like them, they drive like them, and they put on a great show on the short track.
Bill Sedgwick running in second in that red number 44, the 2-time Winston West champ. The last of his victories, of his 17 wins in Winston West competition, came here at this racetrack 1 year ago. So he's looking to perhaps ride some familiar ground back into victory lane now with the 4th place runner. This is Eric Norris from inside his car.
That's right, and that's from inside Jim Smith's shop, too, out there in California. My car owner in Winston Cup, he owns the Ultra Wheels facility out there, and they sponsor Eric, and he's doing a good job. Qualified 3rd, running 4th right here in the early going.
Woodside moving in on the front 2 now. Trying to make it a 3-way race for the lead.
Well, that's an experienced race car driver there. He knows how to win on the West Coast. He's proven that, and we'll hear more out of him before the night's over.
So 1 car in trouble there in the early going. I believe that was Sammy Potashnik who was ducking into the infield in the opening laps.
It hadn't been too good of a weekend for Sammy. He came here with a different team owner, lost his ride, and now he's on pit road and early in this rented ride that he's driving.
So Potashnik going to go at least a couple of laps down here with this unscheduled pit stop in the opening moments of this race. Jeff Jefferson is the leader. Bill Sedgwick is second. We're just underway in the NAPA Auto Parts 200 at Portland on Speedvision.
You know, Robert Yates, Todd Parrott, the whole 88 team, they're not just people I work with, they're like family to me.
Families are real important in NASCAR. My father got me into it, and now it's my turn. Hey, can I borrow the keys to your car this weekend? No.
Families are great support, but I compete with my brother. So do the Burtons, the Wallaces, and we all want to win.
Hey, look, I love my brothers, but I'm not going to let them pass me on Sunday.
This is NASCAR.
Dad!
No.
There's second down on the opening play up in Charlotte, to apartment building.
Now you can win the real Neil McCoy. Just enter the Win Meal contest at your local Fleetwood Homes retailer.
Hey, man, you gonna eat that? Hey, win a free concert with me, Neil McCoy. Just come down to your local Fleetwood retailer to enter. You sure you don't want any more?
If you've ever wondered what it's like to actually drive a Winston Cup race car, I got good news for you. Hi, I'm Richard Pitt. At my schools, you'll drive a real Winston Cup style stock car at one of the best racetracks in America. Our expert staff and professional drivers will acquaint you with the track, the safety gear, and the car. Then you'll take your turn behind the wheel, run some laps, and then receive personal feedback when you get back in the pit. For more information, call 1-800-BE-PETTY.
Who is Speedvision? It's guys who put it all on the line. Guys like Andy Green who can't go fast enough, and Alan Shepard who did all of his best driving on the moon. Think of Don Aronow catching air. Kenny Roberts grinding the toe off his boot. And those guys with the right stuff? But you get the point. So turn on Speedvision. Where men are men, and insurance agents are nervous.
Back at the NAPA Auto Parts 200 in Portland on Speedvision. Alan Best with Michael Waltrip and Larry Naston looking at a race for 16th position. The 11 is Troy Klein. The 16 is the current championship leader, Brendan Gaughan. And the 05 is John Metcalf, kind of scrapping around back in traffic.
They're mixing it up good. And this is what's been so exciting this year, I think, Alan, about the Winston West Series. This is for 16th position. These guys are lined up 4 and 5 deep. And you're talking about the point leader and the Colorado veteran here who's up top 5 in the points. They're always fighting for spots, even if they're not up front. And it's just good competition.
Despite what you'd think that, you know, on a track as flat as this, hugging the bottom would be the very fast way around, Brendan's making some pretty decent time up there in the outside line.
I think a lot of times what happens is just what you said. The pavement's old, so early in the going on the pavement, everybody wanted to hug the bottom, drive right around the bottom. It wore that pavement out. There's fresher pavement up top, so even though it's a little bit further around on this flat track, the guys are able to slide up high and get a better grip.
And this race for position is going on just behind Herschel McGriff. He's in the 04 car that's painted almost identical to Brendan's car. It's just got the number 04 on the side instead of the 16. Here's the ride from Brendan on the outside lane at Portland. Look how bumpy it is.
Now, how would you like to think that you're 70 years old?
Oh, look out.
Whoa. And you had to look at that. You'd have a heart attack. But no, but you're 70 years old, but you're good enough and you're competitive enough to get out there and mix it up with these guys like Herschel is. Man, I love that.
Brendan just 25 years old, and Herschel out there doing it with someone that's less than half his age.
It's just amazing the ability that Herschel has at the age that he is.
See the damage to the left front fender on Brendan Gaughan's car. Again, he is the championship leader coming into the race. Hope he didn't get that pushed in on the tire there. I don't see any smoke, so it looks like he's okay.
No smoke, but it doesn't matter that this is just a half-mile track. You want those fenders out. If the fenders are out, it's giving you downforce on the front end and helping the car turn. It's like getting free help from the air. You know, it blows on the front fender and it pushes the car down in the front, and you need that. So that's definitely not good that he's been his front fender in.
So Brendan Gaughan wrestling right now back for the 12th position with John Metcalf here in the opening laps at Portland. Trying to pick his way toward the front and not get in any trouble. He just as easily could have turned that car into the inside wall in that little mix-up off the corner a moment ago and really been hurting as far as protecting his championship lead is concerned. Yeah. Looks like Metcalf's finally going to win out in this one.
Metcalf gets the best of that battle, but Brendan, like you said, is looking at the big battle. He can't make a mistake here battling deep in the field early in the going. That's going to hurt him that point lead. He has been so smart, and that team has been so steady all year long. You sometimes have to take your blows, you know, take a lump or two along the way and then settle in line and figure out how you can get them back later.
Little camera we have mounted down by the start-finish line we call a speed shot in our TV language that we like to use. Tell you just how fast you're going. Even though it is a half-mile racetrack, you're hauling the mail.
Another way it'll tell you how fast you're going is if you happen to hit that concrete. This place, you carry a lot of speed here. They average almost 90 miles an hour around this tight little flat track. So that means straightaway speeds are probably somewhere over 120 or 30 miles an hour, Alan.
Bill Sedgwick in the 44 car in second spot. We mentioned already the defending winner of this race here at Portland, Oregon has had a lot of success on this racetrack over the course of his Winston West career. And earlier in the weekend, we asked him just a little bit about what goes into a setup to deal with a very flat, kind of rough surface like he's running on here in Portland tonight.
The track is really rough all the way around. They've had potholes that they've covered up over the years. It's just really rough track. Shocks are a key issue here. Springs, sway bars, and just like anybody else. But really, shocks play a big part.
Comments, Mike?
That's something that the whole racing world in stock car racing has really come to grips with and trying to get a better comprehension for, is what important shocks play on these race cars. You can change the handling of the race car tremendously by changing those 4 shock absorbers. Used to, people just looked at them as assistants, you know, something to oh, look here, number 31 got
some
turned
trouble.
around.
That's Ron Bennett in trouble, and the caution is out. That's off turn 4.
Well, he's got a plan. He wants to stay on the lead lap, and I'm sure it didn't make Bill Sedgwick or Jeff Jefferson very happy, but I like the way he did that job. He got her spun around, but he got her turned around, headed in the right direction, and kept that car on the lead lap.
Caution is out, 21 laps in, as Ron Bennett gets spun around off of turn number 4, but continues away and stays on the lead lap.
You got to be aggressive on these short tracks. He got her head in the right direction. Herschel McGriff's run steady today. Let's go back to him for a Portland moment. Some memories from Portland.
I remember the second year it was blacktop. I didn't have a car to really drive till about a week before the race, and I bought a rolled over 47 Mercury 4-door, and I'll be darned if I didn't. I brought it out here, didn't know what the gear ratio was because we weren't that technical in them days, and I sat on the pole at 31 seconds. So you can imagine the difference in the time today. I think we're turning 21 something.
10 seconds a lap. Long time ago. Herschel McGriff, the 70-year-old veteran, holds many all-time records in the NASCAR Winston West Series, running 13th early in the Napa Auto Parts 200.
Prilosec use.
Whenever this...
Please, stop flipping channels. Shaw Digital Cable lets you surf channels without missing a thing. Shaw Digital Cable is so clear, so real, it's unreal.
The Golf Channel and Max Live present the MVP Sweepstakes. Enter now for a chance to win a full week at the breathtaking Kiowa Island Golf Resort. A round of golf with John Elway and access to all tournament activities during the Max Fly Celebrity Challenge Golf Tournament. Plus, you could win golf bags, irons, and a lifetime supply of Max Fly Revolution golf balls. Enter now at thegolfchannel.com for your chance to be an MVP.
In sports. He's larger than life. He sparked a passion taking the country by storm. And the sporting news says he's generated more buzz than Oprah Winfrey and Larry King. He's arguably the hippest, freshest, funniest sports talker working today.
You're underpaid. There's no question about that.
That is some serious slapping. Jim Rome, the last word. Weeknights at 6:30 and 11:30 on Fox Sports Net.
Welcome to the jungle. Tonight, it's Girl Thunder on American Thunder. Then go down under with Australian touring cars. And it's David Carradine and Fast Charlie, the Moonbeam Rider. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern. Australian Super Touring Cars at 8 and Lost Drive-In at 11.
Back at Portland, the Napa Auto Parts 200 on Speedvision for the NASCAR Winston West Series. Getting set to wrap up caution number 1. Came out at lap 21 when Ron Bennett got spun around off of turn number 4. Lead so far has been in the hands of Jeff Jefferson, the rookie driver who started on pole for the race. The driver who started alongside him on the front row, Bill Sedgwick, has run second for the entire distance so far, with Sean Woodside and Eric Norris in the third and fourth positions. Getting ready to go back at it as the field bunches up. The pace car departs the racetrack on the backstretch here at Portland. That's the Jack Sellers machine, the Sacramento veteran.
He just spent a little bit of time on, well, he's on pit road right now.
Coming in for a stop. They entered pit road off the backstretch here.
Got the stop sign from the NASCAR official, which means he just went down a lap, so that didn't go as smoothly as Jack had hoped, I bet.
I would say not. It's very astute of you, Mike.
Thank you.
I thought we were on the one-to-go signal, but they have given it just now for the field, so they'll rack it up and get set to go back green flag racing when they come around this time by. There's Sellers rejoining the end of the line.
One of the guys on the cleanup crew ran down there in turn 3. I was looking and picked up a piece of debris late in the, just before they were getting ready to go back to racing, so we're going to go an extra lap here, and these guys are lined up here along the Portland back straightaway and ready for the restart.
Pace cars off. Now it is again Jeff Jefferson who is in command of the field as they come off of turn number 4 and get set to come back up to full speed racing. Green flag is in the air. Here we go once again. Looked like Bobby Dotter down on the inside there, 7 or 8 cars back, trying to make a move on the initial start.
You saw Steve Portengay there in the 3 car. That's the car that Sammy Potashnik, he rented his backup car for the race tonight.
Portengay running in 4th position now. He's gotten around Eric Norris to put Eric back to 5th. As you see the lead 5 come down the backstretch.
I just think it's pretty cool to see Jeff Jefferson responding to this load. When he sat on the pole, he kind of loaded himself up. You know, he said, I've got a car that is capable of winning this race. And then now he's got to go out and do it. And he's proven through 25 laps of this race that he's ready to do so. That car's been very successful, his dad in particular, at this racetrack, and in fact in Winston West in general. And he's proven he's up to the challenge, hasn't he?
He is making just his 8th start in the NASCAR Winston West Series, so to be on pole position, let alone to be out in front of experienced drivers like Sedgwick and Woodside and all the rest, that is, I think, pretty big.
Plus, it doesn't really get any more difficult than this, Alan. You're talking about a full-body 3,500-pound stock car on a flat mile or half-mile track. That's work for you when you got to load up the tires and get on the gas and off the gas. You see Sammy Potashnik's troubles continues. Hadn't been a good weekend for him, has it?
I don't think fun would be high on his list of things that he has done this weekend.
But you can see Jefferson here. I'm talking you got to get off the gas, use the brakes, use the throttle. Everything comes into being successful here at Portland, and he's getting the job done.
Gary Morris was overtaken by the leaders a moment ago. He is somewhat off the pace as you see him fading back through the field. So Morris now going a lap down. And we ride with Kevin Richards, second in the Winston West Championship standings. Coming into the race, he started back in 15th position. And he's trying to pick his way toward the front. Here working on Jason Small for the 10th spot.
We knew that car would come, or we thought it would come through the field and move toward the front, and he indeed is doing so. He's second in the points, and he's got to work his way up through there slowly, kind of like we talked about Brendan Gaughan earlier, but he's getting the job done.
Richards running in 10th, working on Small for 9th there as you look at the rundown. Butch Miller in the field for tonight's race. Kind of a last-minute addition to the field. Took over that ride that Sammy Potashnik was parted from after last night. It's been rookie Jeff Jefferson who has paced veteran Bill Sedgwick in the early going at Portland. Back on Speedvision in a minute.
If anybody watches these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races, they'll understand what trade and paint is.
We definitely do a lot of bumping and rubbing with 5 to go.
It is the very best racing car, side-by-side competitive racing I've been going.
Once the green flag drops, there's no friends on the racetrack.
I come in and race against these guys, and they kick me, they run over me, they tear the sides off my truck.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
Thanks for letting me tag along. Anytime, Uncle.
The Subaru Outback Sport has more horsepower than a Toyota RAV4. And something you won't find on just any sport utility. Full-time all-wheel drive, which makes it perfect for even the most extreme terrain.
This might not be your type of crowd, Uncle. Uncle?
Outback Sport, part of the Outback family from Subaru.
It's like surfing, really.
It happens here and only here. You get every race, every moment live. Tomorrow, will McLaren keep up the speed as Schumi hits his hometown turf? Don't miss the F1 German Grand Prix. Live, only on Speedvision. Be there.
Coming up on the 1/4 mark of the NAPA Auto Parts 200, it's the NASCAR Winston West Series at Portland Speedway in Oregon. Alan Bestwick, Michael Waltrip, and Larry Naston bringing the action to you. And you're watching the race for 3rd position here. Sean Woodside, the defending series champ, trying to fend off a challenge from Steve Portengay in the white and black number 3.
We saw Woodside show up late for the race in Irwindale and start tailback on the field and worked his way to the front. And this week he started up front and he's running 3rd.
Exactly the position he started. Well, I shouldn't say that. He started in 4th position, but got into 3rd in the very first lap, and he's been there ever since. But Portengay's putting a lot of pressure on now. Steve getting a little aggressive here, just about hanging those left side tires in the grass at that entrance to turn number 3 off the backstretch.
We talked earlier, there is room to run on the high side, but it seems like the preferred line where they really want to be is right down on the bottom of the racetrack. You can see both Woodside and Portengay have bypassed Eric Norris and dropped him back. Both those guys have moved up.
The leaders just overtook the Rod Bennett car. There you see Bennett. He is slow on the racetrack in turn number 3, still moving. So we don't see a caution flag yet. But Rod Bennett, making his 3rd start of the season, is off the pace here in the opening laps at Portland.
Been eventful for him this evening, hasn't it? You don't get to do a 360 in front of the leaders very often and stay on the lead lap. He did that, and now he's creeping back to the pits with that little iron rod Chevy.
That was back at lap number 21 that Bennett went for the spin right in front of Jefferson and Sedgwick and Woodside off of turn number 4 that resulted in the first caution of the race. Looks like he's going to make it back around to the inner track here at Portland that makes up the pit road, so we'll stay under the green flag, but Bennett with some troubles early as he coasts back around toward the pit lane. Meantime, for Jeff Jefferson, everything looking good for him. He continues to pace this race as he has since the drop of the green flag. Just putting a lap on Gene Christensen in the 87 car there.
And there's his pursuers. Bill Sedgwick used to drive my brother's truck in the Craftsman Truck Series, so he has experience on all types of tracks around the country. You can see here Rod Bennett's crew up under the hood of that little Chevy trying to figure out what brought him to pit road.
See if we can get an update there on the problem momentarily. Was that just a belt they just threw out from under the hood?
That's not good. Anytime you got extra parts, that's bad.
Yeah, that's a pretty good call there, Mike.
There's Herschel battling with Rick Bogart.
Should be for the 11th spot. Butch Miller is in the 20 car. He's in the middle of that as well, so you're looking at 11th, 12th, and 13th here. Of course, Butch Miller with some experience here at Portland in the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series a few years back, so it wasn't like it was a totally foreign racetrack to him when he showed up here.
You're right, and also Herschel, you know, he's got some experience here.
Yeah, just a little.
Only since 1940 something. That's wild. I'm amazed at the fact that he's been getting it done that long. And look at how competitive he is. You see Bogart there getting sideways off 4. As is Butch Miller, but Herschel kept his straight up off the turn, and he closes in as they head down into turn 1.
And Rick Bogart, he is one of the large crop class, either one, of Rookie of the Year candidates in the NASCAR Winston West Series this year. Might have just made a rookie mistake, or is the right front tire down on that car?
I think he lost the right front tire, yeah.
Yeah, sure is. There it is. Right front is down on Bogart's car. 25-year-old from Cajon, California, or from El Cajon, California. Former weekly racer at the El Cajon Speedway. I got that exactly backwards. It's El Cajon, California, and the Cajon Speedway.
I knew you were struggling with that. I just thought I'd leave you alone over there and
Thank you.
Let you work through it. He's brought that car. You can see on his car there. Look to the left rear. Oh, now Troy Klein's looped her.
That's down in what's off turn 4 here in the front stretch. So Troy Klein has spun around.
We got a lot of stuff going on.
Let's get out to pit road to Larry Naston, get an update on some of the pit stops we've seen here lately.
The 83 car comes in, Rick Bogart, and Rich Bogart goes ahead and takes a look and changes the front right. Now they're going to go ahead and take a time now and get rid of these tires that they need to change. They're going to make their tires stop early. Remember, we know the window is at least 150 miles. These guys can go pretty much a whole race on one set of tires. Now they take around the bite out, and they'll get him going again. So Rick Bogart back on the racetrack.
Rick was having one of his best runs of the year, right up in the top 10 or battling for the top 10, and then had a tire go flat. You saw he had Goodyear tires on there, and earlier we saw a car with Hoosier tires. In the Winston West Series, you do have a tire war. See what happened to Troy Klein here as he works his way off turn 4. Looks like
all by himself.
Yeah, I didn't see any contact. Just thing got away from him a little bit.
Now watching some of the traffic come by and trying to get it restarted before the leaders came barreling down on top of him. 50 laps in, quarter of the distance is done. And you look at the field summary, top 10 anyway, upper left of your screen. We're watching the race for 5th and 6th position between Eric Norris in the 32, and that's Bobby Donner in the 18 car.
Now, Dodder's performance at Irwindale was impressive. He drove away from the field late in the going, so this track is similar to Irwindale. I mean, it's a small, flat track, so you would think that this guy will make some noise before this afternoon's races. I keep saying tonight because it's always dark around here in Oregon. It's all rainy and dark.
Let's take a break there. I think that's a good spot to jump off. We'll come back to Portland in a minute.
Property owners, if we...
In August, celebrate the final major of the 2000 season during PGA Championship Week on the Golf Channel. The greatest players in the world gather at Valhalla Golf Club, and the Golf Channel is there as your definitive source for highlights, interviews, updates, analysis, and more. Be a part of the action. PGA Championship Week, August 14th through the 20th. Experience it on the Golf Channel.
I was watching TV with my son last night.
We saw this really great show.
It was funny.
Did you hear that, Dad?
Yeah, it did.
Inspiration can come from different places.
I'd say the sky is the limit.
Television is a medium for both entertainment and education. Make choices that are right for your family. To find out more about media awareness, contact Concerned Children's Advertisers.
Of hot rodding like Hot Rod Magazine. Inside the races and the road tests, the trends and technologies, inside the performance news and the expert advice. Call now to get your free trial issue of Hot Rod and save 75% off the cover price on America's #1 Hot Rod Magazine. Whether you're a spectator or hands-on, Hot Rod shows you how to take a car to the next level. See what the pros are doing. Check out the hottest street machines, custom dragsters, restored muscle cars, and more. All with in-depth features and hard-driving photos from the Hot Rod Authority. Call 1-800-335-1414 now to get your free trial issue of Hot Rod Magazine. Get all the action, all the information, all you want to know about rodding and racing inside Hot Rod Magazine. Call 1-800-335-1414 to get your free trial issue and save 75% on Hot Rod Magazine. Call now.
Jeff Jefferson, the rookie driver, leading the NAPA Auto Parts 200 for the NASCAR Winston West Series in Portland, Oregon. He's pulled away from Bill Sedgwick by a good margin now, still waiting on second place. There he is, the red car there. So Jefferson really opening up a gap on the field here as we are just past the 50-lap mark in this event. Doing a great job.
Man, he is. And we quite honestly hadn't seen this out of Jefferson this year. I mean, he's been close to the front. He's been competitive, but man, he's got breakaway speed here. He's showing the guys the way around this track.
Jeff Jefferson so far in this NASCAR Winston West Series season with a finish of 9th as his best coming into today's race. In the races that he's run, he was 28th at Mesa Marin, 25th at Las Vegas, 9th at the California Speedway, and then 20th in the Irwindale race last time out. So you're right, we haven't seen this from him yet. Not this kind of potential, certainly.
No, and we can see Rod Bennett's got his little hot rod back on the road and back in competition. But I'm impressed with and that's why, like I said earlier, that's what I love about the West Series this year. There's so many competitive, good race cars that can come out of the pack and put a whooping on people like you see Jefferson doing here. And then there's Jason Small, Kevin Richards, Scott Gaylord. That's the battle for the 10th position, isn't it, Alan?
And Gaylord trying to hold off the challenges from last year's Rookie of the Year, Small in that 14, and the man second in points in the Winston West Series, Richards in the 85. Let's shift back up front just a little bit as Bill Sedgwick starts to feel a little heat from second spot. Sean Woodside working on him there, and now we drop back in again and ride with Kevin Richards in the Monaco Enterprises machine. Oh, Small loose off 4.
Yeah, listen to this engine, Alan. You can see the trouble that they have getting this power to the ground. Listen. Oh, yeah, just like I figured that would work. When they come up off the corner, you can hear just 700 horsepower screaming at those rear tires saying, hook up, and sometimes it doesn't quite work out. Herschel McGriff still jamming with these guys. Jason Smalls down on the inside, Butch Miller to the outside, and Herschel watching every move, trying to make a move.
And after Kevin Richards went by, Small is trying to protect his line from both Herschel McGriff and Butch Miller, who were trying to get around him.
Oh, Herschel got a good bite off the corner there and made his way around Butch. This is a track that is really easy to overdrive, Alan. You can drive that car too deep in the corner and just slide through the middle, and then you give your crew false reports. You can say, well, I'm pushing. But if you let off a little bit earlier and let the thing roll, then maybe it'll give you a different feel. So it's important for a veteran driver, an experienced driver, to play with his line, try to let off in different places, and toy with the surface. Try to run the bottom and the middle and the top and see where your car wants to drive the best.
You've never given your crew false reports, have you?
Unfortunately, I have to report I have.
Yeah.
But I'm older now and wiser, and I really try to make sure that you drive the car, feel the car, see what it tells you. Herschel's making some good moves now. He's moved past Butch Miller, like we said, and now he's all over Jason Small.
Herschel McGriff holds many all-time records in the NASCAR Winston West Series, including most wins in a season, 12 back in 1972. Most consecutive races won, 5 in 1972. Most poles in a season, most poles career. And he has 5 modern-era Winston West wins here at this Portland track. Well, after getting around the traffic he was in, Jason Small, a minute ago, here's Kevin Richards trying to work on Scott Gaylord now and pick up another spot. Working hard, too.
That car looks like it's working good. You can really see the front end as it hits the bumps that we heard Sedgwick talk about earlier. You can see the thing work and beginning to get a hold of the track. And at Portland, if you're able to move up through the field 30, 40 laps into the run like we're seeing here now, this is when the cream truly rises to the top. Guys that have setups for this surface that's really rough and hard to get a hold of, then they'll really start to show what they got now. And Richards looks like one guy that maybe be able to make a move as the race wears on.
Racing for 8th and 9th positions here as Richards continues to try and work over Scott Gaylord. And back up front, now beginning to see Bill Sedgwick, the second-place runner, slip back into the clutches of Sean Woodside, who's in 3rd.
We saw Bogart on pit road with a problem, got him some fresh tires, and he's running well now, too.
Able to keep pace with the leaders, but again, he's not on the lead lap after the extended stay on pit road of a couple of minutes ago. In fact, he's 4 laps down to the leader.
I wouldn't be surprised to see him bypass these cats. Oh, got the
caution is out.
What is going on? I don't see anything as I look around the track. Oh, there it is, Mike Duncan.
That's not a good sign.
Looks got the world's biggest number 9 on the side of that thing.
Yeah, it looks like he's got the world's biggest headache in the engine of that machine as well up under the hood as he coasts back into the pit lane. You see there the leader in the Rookie of the Year chase for the NASCAR Winston West Series. Had a terrific run at Irwindale last time out on Speedvision. Finished up in 3rd spot. Not going to work out as well for him in Portland here in this race.
No, but at Bakersfield he was 4th, and at Irwindale he was 3rd on these tight little short tracks. We thought we might see Mike make a breakthrough win here tonight. Today, but it didn't happen. It's daytime.
So Mike Duncan, apparently with an engine failure, will fall out of this Napa Auto Parts 200 here in Portland. The crew beginning to push the car back behind the wall, and that is not good for one of the leading rookies in the 2000 NASCAR Winston West Series season.
He's been fun to watch this year, though. A rookie, hadn't seen a lot out of him, but yet competitive week in and week out.
There's the field. We'll take a break while we're under caution. Come back in just a minute. Stick around.
You know, NASCAR's been a part of my family for almost 30 years. First of all, I got in this business because I'm a race fan. I went to races as a little kid. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss hanging out in the garage with the guys, the camaraderie, that bumping and grinding that we do on Sunday. The fans, the drivers, the crews, it's just a way of life. For 40 years, I've gotten up on Sunday, put my helmet on, and raced. I'm really going to miss it.
Mopar presents this great moment in NHRA. 7 months after a devastating accident, Big Daddy Don Garlits lines up to race in the Winter Nationals at Pomona. This time in a car equipped with a revolutionary rear engine. Garlits and his rear engine dragster qualify in the 5th spot. In the elimination runs to follow, Garlits takes the victory. The groundbreaking win propels Garlits to Driver of the Year and Driver of the Decade honors.
Great parts for these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
Now hear this. Need to know what to watch on Speedvision? Log on to Speedvision.com. Find the latest daily, weekly, and monthly program schedules from the world of speed. Get the inside line anytime. Log on to Speedvision.com.
Under caution at Portland in the Napa Auto Parts 200, and we are getting the yellow flag out because Mike Duncan blew an engine, dropped some liquid on the racetrack. It's caution number 2 in the race. Here comes the field to the opening of the pit lane, which is the inner quarter-mile track here at Portland. The leader's in, Jeff Jefferson, coming down to the attention of his crew.
Leader Jeff Jefferson goes ahead. The crew comes to the attention of Rich Chillicote. They go ahead and take the right side up. We'll make a right side tire swap. They've been wanting to do this since the very beginning of the race. They'll dump a round of Unocal race fuel in, and they're going to let him go with 2 tires and 1 can of fuel.
And back out toward the racetrack, and about all we could expect to see on pit stops under caution here would be 2 tire stops, I would think.
Yeah, the pit road circles the infield, so it's timely to get in and out of your pit, so you want to make sure you don't jack around and lose a lap when you make your pit stops.
Ooh, close call there between Fortingay and Cedric. Looks like Cedric's going to lose a spot as Eric Norris's team gets him out well.
Whoa, and you can see there what we talked about.
Yeah.
Those guys got 2 tires and barely beat the pace car back onto the track. That's why all that anxious action to get out of the pits there. They want to make sure they got out ahead of the pace car.
So Jefferson back on track after getting right side tires. Most everybody else that pitted got right side tires also. There's Eric Norris. Been having a very solid top 5 run all throughout the race so far, and in each of our Speedvision NASCAR Winston West Series broadcasts this season, we've been trying to turn the spotlight on one of the drivers in the series and let you know a little bit more about who they are and where they come from. And boy, Eric Norris, he has about as colorful a background and occupation as anyone you'll find in racing. When Eric Norris climbs into the Janny King Ford, his mind is on one thing, winning. But when he's not racing, Eric's usually thinking about something else.
Walker.
Walker, Texas Ranger, the TV series starring his karate kicking father Chuck, wouldn't be the same without Eric.
I'm the stunt coordinator every week. Every show, I put all the stunts together. And then for about the last 3 years, I've been directing some of the shows. And this year, I'll probably direct more than I have in the past.
And action! Growing up on the set of his dad's action-adventure movies, it was natural for Eric to go into show business, but it was his dad who introduced him to the racing business as well.
You know what? He's done a lot of racing. He did all the off-road stuff, and then he actually won a world championship in offshore boats. But he's been around racing and that type of thing all his life, and we do car chases and stuff on the show. And he loves to jump in the car and drive his car and slide cars. So, he's really into it.
Walker is one of the most ambitious shows on television. It takes 7 12-hour days to shoot just 1 episode. For Eric, juggling the action on the set with the action on the track is tricky.
Racing's a full-time job. I mean, I'm on set on my cell phone all day long, talking to the shop, figuring out what's going on. I get on a plane, we go test, get home, go to work, get back on a plane, go race. So it's a full-time job, both of them. And then I throw my family into it, and my plate's full, but it's something I love to do, and I couldn't see doing anything else.
On the set, Eric carefully choreographs each stunt, but on the track, that's not possible. So what does Chuck think about Eric's real-life adventure?
In the beginning, he's had some thoughts maybe I shouldn't be doing it, but he sees how I love it, so, he understands and he accepts it.
I think I lost a kid today.
Despite Dad's reservations, Eric may soon be spending more time behind the wheel than behind the camera.
We have every intention of actually going full-time racing next year, and hopefully Janet King or somebody wants to go truck racing steps up and we go do that. So that's what our plans are right now, is to take our team and go racing full-time.
You never listen.
I would guess if they go full-time racing, people better watch out.
Yeah.
They've proven they're competitive already, and it's pretty exciting to watch him race, and that was a great feature, Alan.
Here's Brendan Gaughan back in. He's going to come back in under the yellow flag for left side tires, so he's going to have 4 fresh ones when we go back racing.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of getting in and out of the pits, and they decided to get them 2 and 2 at a time, and now he's back on the road with 4 fresh tires. So he needed to do something to shake it up a little bit, starting deep in the field, and really didn't make a good move early in the going, and he needed to do something to kind of try to change his luck a little bit.
You see a lot of oil laid down by the blown engine, so we're still in the cleanup process in the Napa Auto Parts 200 at Portland. We'll take a break.
Meet the world's first space traveler. Bet you don't know her name. From the History Channel, the official network of every millennium. This is Time Lab 2000. In October of 1957, Americans are amazed to discover that the Soviet Union has put up the world's first satellite, Sputnik. Less than a month later, the Soviets put up an even bigger satellite with the world's first space traveler, Laika. A mutt picked up from the streets who ends up in Earth orbit, where unfortunately she cannot be retrieved. She never gets home, but Laika proves that space travel is possible, and the two satellites shocked the worried U.S. into launching its own space program. The space race is on, thanks in part to the dog nicknamed Muttnik. For the History Channel, I'm Sam Waterston.
Thunder on American Thunder, then go down under with Australian touring cars. It's David Carradine in Fast Charlie, the Moonbeam Rider. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern. Australian Super Touring Cars at 8 and Lost Drive-In at 11.
If anybody watches these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races, they'll understand what trading paint is.
We definitely do a lot of bumping and rubbing with 5 to go.
It is the very best racing car, side-by-side competitive racing I think going.
Once the green flag drops, there's no friends on the racetrack.
I come in and race against these guys, and they kick me, they run over me, they tear the sides off my truck.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
Almost set to go back racing here in Portland in the Napa Auto Parts 200. Let's check quickly down on pit road with Larry.
Well, Fred Graves, being the experienced crew chief he is, used 2 pit stops to get his job done under 1 caution. Fred, you brought him in once, got 2 tires, then you got another 2. Is he ready?
Yeah, we wanted all 4, and the pace car was coming, so we had to drop the jack and let him go around again and get caught back up so we get all 4 of them on. The wear is not a problem. They got really good tires here, but their stagger was off a little bit on that first set, and we just need to get all 4 of them on there to match it up.
All right, that's Fred Graves, crew chief for Brendan Gaughan in the Napa Chevrolet.
Tell me he doesn't just show up everywhere. Oh, Fred Graves. He's one of the one of the Janet King major movers at this point in the race is Brendan Gaughan up from 17th to 7th, and John Metcalf from 16th to 9th. Freddie Graves is a crew chief extraordinaire. He's crew chiefed about everybody, and here he is in the infield of Portland on July the 4th. So you never know where Freddie's going to show up.
Getting set to go back racing. Pace cars off. Jeff Jefferson has held the lead through the cycle of stops. Eric Norris up to 2nd. Sedgwick is 3rd. Portingay is 4th. Green flag is up, and here we go once again. Leader quickly clears the Rick Bogart machine, who was trying to get one of his laps back down to the inside. Remember, he had a flat tire earlier, and he's 4 laps down at this point.
But he's got a competitive race car, so these guys will have their problems working their way around Rick. Man, it's fun for me to watch these big old race cars bounce around this little half-mile track. It makes it exciting, doesn't it? They bounce and move, and you can really see the suspension on the cars want to work in these turns.
Lead 4 now, clear the Bogart lap machine as Portingay gets around. It has been all Jeff Jefferson so far. It was Bill Sedgwick who chased him all the way through about the first 70 laps. Uh-oh, is Herschel in trouble? Looked like he slowed a little bit on the racetrack.
Yeah, something's not right there.
Headed for pit road. So tough luck here for 70-year-old Herschel McGriff, who has a problem. Crew is headed around to the right side. We are still under green, no caution out here, and this is going to be very costly for him. He's going to lose at least a couple of laps, even if he just gets 2 tires.
Which he does, and heads on his way, but like you said, under green, you can't, especially with this long pit road, wrapping all the way around the infield.
So Herschel McGriff now going a couple of laps down here as we approach the halfway point in this Napa Auto Parts 200. Here's the race for 3rd position. Bill Sedgwick in the red 44. Steve Portingay in the white and black number 3 going at it.
Portingay's beginning to feel a little racy, I believe. I've been watching him work all over the back of Sedgwick. He's looked to the inside, looked to the outside. Looks like he might have the line this time, Alan.
Portingay with only 1 top 5 finish so far this 2000 season. That coming back at the Mesa Marin race you saw here on Speedvision, and he does complete the pass on Sedgwick for 3rd spot. And Sedgwick's car, a little puff of smoke there or something when he jumped back in the gas.
That car went really wide. It was like he bottomed out or something, bounced off the track and shot him up to the right.
Riding with Joe Bean, unfortunately not on the lead lap at this point.
But this is a shot I want you. Listen to this. Listen, Alan. hear the struggle it is to get that power to the ground on this little tight, flat track? He's really fighting that thing, trying to get... Listen to this motor scream as he shoots up off the turn. You can hear him. See the way he really has to throttle that thing? It isn't just going down in the corner and matting the gas. You've got to use your foot to drive the car as much as you do your hands.
Herschel McGriff running right in front of Jason Small, last year's Rookie of the Year. Herschel was on pit road just a minute ago for an unscheduled stop. And let's check down there now. Larry Nasted has more on what happened to the veteran 70-year-old driver. Larry, what happened there?
Dwayne Knorr, crew chief for Herschel McGriff. You brought Herschel in. What happened?
Well, he got back out there after we changed the tires. We think we picked something up in the right front, and it started going down. So he brought it back in. You just don't want to run the risk of wrecking it.
Got 100 laps to go. You think you can still get back up there?
We're going to try. I'm not sure. We went down at least one.
In fact, Herschel is 2 laps down now to leader Jeff Jefferson as we close in on the midway point of this race. So tough luck there for Herschel. Steve Portingay on the move, now around Eric Norris and picking up the 2nd spot.
That car's working great. We could see that earlier, the way he was just really... It looks like is able to be really aggressive with the thing up off the corner. He can jump on the gas. He really drives away from people at that point on the track, but yet it doesn't get sideways. So I look for Portingay to maybe rattle old Jeff Jefferson's cage a little bit. He's had it made here. He's led the first 80 laps or so here without even a challenge, basically, and here comes Portingay.
Now, rattling his cage has taken on new context in NASCAR racing this last year or so. So in which way do we mean that?
Well, let's anxiously await Portingay's arrival to Jefferson's back bumper and see exactly what happens.
There you go. 10 laps away from midway. There you see the field summary. Upper left of your screen, our Napa field summary. Sean Woodside has fallen back to 6th position. Brendan Gaughan on those 4 tires has moved up and picked up a few spots since we went back racing.
Yeah, he needed to do something. Like I said earlier, he wasn't having the race that we're used to seeing Brendan Gaughan have. He was just kind of laboring back in 13th, 14th, 15th, and that's the point leader, so they wanted to do something to get that thing toward the front. You can see here Portingay trying to work his way around
Jeff Jefferson. He's caught right up to the race leader, and they're in some pretty heavy lap traffic. Gene Christensen is one of those they're trying to overtake.
And Jack Sellers there in the way as well.
And Eric Norris here really looking like he's fighting his car at this point in the race.
Got a good view of the lead battle. What happened to these two?
Joe Bean into the wall. Also involved, Troy Klein in the 11 car. Caution is out, 3rd one. In the Napa Auto Parts 200, there's Klein driving away. Obviously, his left rear and Joe Bean's left front have met in rather severe fashion. And the yellow flag is out once more.
Darn, we were just on board with Joe. He was hanging on pretty good. I wonder, what do you think?
Well, hard to tell if the flat tire came before or after the contact, but I would say it's probably going to turn out to be, if we see it on replay, one of those where they both wanted the same piece of racetrack.
Yeah, and I'm going to bet you that the flat tire came after the contact.
Yeah, I would say
Generally,
so.
when you have 2 cars tore up like that, somebody got together. Joe's wound up with his little food for less Ford up against the outside wall.
It's pretty heavy damage there.
That is a lot of damage here for Portland. We don't see cars much worse than that. We need to watch this in car, maybe. We can get a view from Joe's. Yeah, here we go. Oh, Alan, I think you nailed it.
Oh, no.
No, you didn't.
He nailed it. Troy Klein spun out in front of him. No word from the spotter. No nothing. It didn't look like, because he didn't appear to have any idea that car was there.
No, and I tell you what will happen to you. You go down in the corner and you see a guy sideways in the track and you want to get on the brakes to try to get your car wound down. And as soon as you do that, your front tires will lock up and you can't steer the thing. So, I mean, I don't know if that's what happened to Joe or not, but it just was an unfortunate deal there. The 11 car, Troy Klein, was sideways in the road, and Joe wound up collecting him.
Pretty good hit there, but you can see Joe out of the car and is okay, and glad to hear that. The Food for Less driver is fine, but his machine fairly heavily used up. Pit stops. Here's the race leader in, getting left side tires. Look like a little trouble there on the left rear.
There's not many cars on pit road, though, so that won't really affect anything. He's got his Sloot.com Ford on the road. There's Joe Bean working his way back to the pits. We're going to work our way to break here. Come back for green flag action right after this.
Get the latest word in performance. Get the inside track on Import Car News. Get all the answers you're looking for in Motor Trend, the world's #1 automotive authority. Call now to get a free trial issue of Motor Trend and save 76% off the cover price. Whether you're looking for a new car or you're an automotive enthusiast, everything you need to know is in the pages of Motor Trend. From road test review to performance trends, from sport coupes to SUVs, from Detroit to Tokyo. It's all in Motor Trend. Call now and get a free trial issue of Motor Trend and save 76% off the cover price. Motor Trend, it's got all the automotive answers you're looking for. Call now for a year's worth of the world's #1 automotive authority. Motor Trend, 1 year is only $9.97. Call now and get a free trial issue.
This summer on OLN, the Surfers Journal rules the airwaves with raging tube action. Hit Hawaii's pipeline and relive 4 decades of this surf mecca's outrageous ups and downs. Plus, see what's up at some of the big breaks down under, from the killer curls at Bells Beach and Narrabeen to the ultimate riding at Kira. And Taylor Steele's rad videos bring the newest, hottest talent in the water into focus. Get on board with the Surfers Journal, only on OLN.
Back at Portland, the Napa Auto Parts 200 is under caution as we approach the halfway point of the race. Third yellow coming out after Troy Klein spun up in turns 3 and 4. And Joe Bean found him in his way when he came into the corner, not appearing to have had any word from his spotter as to the fact that there was a car sitting crossways in the corner. Here's another look at it from the in-car camera in Bean's machine.
I think you hear the tires squealing there, and you cannot steer those silly things when you lock your tires up, and might have the balance of his brakes off or something and cause them sliding. Now, let's go down to Larry Natson and see if he could check with Joe and figure out what, from his perspective, what happened.
Oh, tough break for Joe Bean. What happened?
Well, I'll tell you, I got caught up in a wreck. We've been struggling all day today. You know, we had a tough time in qualifying. We ended up 18th in the Food for Less Coca-Cola car. We just had a tough couple races, you know. We just can't seem to get the monkey off our back right now, but we're going to get after him next race.
All right, that's Joe Bean. Tough break today for the 77 Food for Less guys.
You know, it's funny, when you were looking out the window of Joe's car from that in-car camera, you could not see Troy Klein's machine sitting up around that corner by the outside wall through the other cars that were cutting low.
Yeah, he didn't have any idea he was there.
Yeah. So Steve Portingay is the leader after Jeff Jefferson, who has led all the way so far, has pitted. Portingay out front. He has stayed on the track. Second is Eric Norris. Bill Sedgwick is third. Fourth should be the Bobby Donner car. And there you see Brendan Gaughan up to the 5th position, and Kevin Richards in 6th, Jason Small in 7th, and the man who's led the first half of the event almost nonstop, Jeff Jefferson, restarts back in 8th position. They'll get the cross flags when they come around this time by. The 83 is the Rick Bogart machine. He's a few laps down after an earlier flat tire and green flag pit stop. And the 21 is Dan Obrist, the Portland veteran. It is first Winston West start of the 2000 season, and that's halfway. In this Napa Auto Parts 200, cross flags out, 100 down, 100 to go. Obrist is 1 lap down.
Yeah, but he's finished in the top 5 the last 2 years in a row here in Portland, so it's not surprising that he makes his first start here at a place that he's enjoyed some success.
At the midway point of the event, why don't we take a look back at what has happened in the first half of this event. It is our REMAX recap. Start of the race, it's Jeff Jefferson, the young rookie driver, on pole with Bill Sedgwick alongside, and it was Jefferson who settled into the top spot on the break and led just about the entire first half of the event nonstop. This was a blown engine on Mike Duncan's car that put us under caution and brought all the leaders to pit road. Right side tires for about everyone. Jefferson gets off the pit lane and holds on to the top spot. Then the caution at lap 92 when Troy Klein spun and Joe Bean had nowhere to go but into the side of him. Jefferson came back in for left side tires, set him back to 8th on the restart, and turned the lead over to Steve Portingay, who was out in front when we went back racing. And that is the REMAX recap, halfway through our NASCAR Winston West race here on Speedvision. Look at some of the lead cars blasting past the starter's stand. Here's Brendan Gaughan on the move, trying to get second spot from Eric Norris. Remember, Gaughan has fresher tires on the left side than Norris.
You've got to like the experienced calls that the crew chiefs are making down on pit road. We've seen Brendan Gaughan move from the back or middle of the pack up to the front by the fact that Fred Graves elected to put 4 tires on that car under caution. Everybody else got 2. Now, some of the guys have stayed out on the racetrack, and George Jefferson has called Jeff back into the pits for his left side tires, too. So those are the only 2 cars right now that are on 4 basically fresh tires. Everybody else is working on the left that they started the race with. So you can see some of the savvy calls that the crews are beginning to make and the difference and how that's going to work out in the race. It's definitely made a big difference in Brendan's race because he wasn't getting anywhere like he needed to be getting, and now he's right up to the front.
Tell you what else you could see is Eric Norris's car really wiggling and waggling around here. The just right side tires on his car really not agreeing with its performance as you ride behind Sedgwick, who's behind Norris. And here is Richards on the move, trying to get the 4th spot, make that 3rd spot away from Bill Sedgwick.
I think everybody's doing a little bit of wiggling, Alan. You could see Sedgwick. He was all over the place as Richards applied the pressure to him. The harder you try to drive, the wilder it gets inside that car. You know, you want to make a nice smooth run up off the corner to try to keep that car pointed straight. But that's easier said than done, especially when you got somebody like Richards breathing down your throat. You know, you're wanting to get away from him, get yourself a little breathing room. And you can see Sedgwick there made a nice run off that turn and indeed did open the gap on the Monaco Enterprises Chevy.
Here's Sean Woodside racing with Scott Gaylord a little farther back. This would be for the 8th position. Really haven't heard a whole lot out of Woodside so far in this race.
No, surprisingly, too. I felt like he would be a real contender, but he's right on the back of Jeff Jefferson here, so he's definitely still in the thick of the battle. Scott Gaylord has run a good race, too, as well as the Colorado veteran, John Metcalf, in the REMAX hot rod there. He's keeping the pressure right on Gaylord.
You saw the top 10 there. The only other car that's on the lead lap is the 98 machine of Kevin Culver. So 11 of the starters on the lead lap at lap number 110. Pretty good race here for position as Sedgwick tries to hold off Richards. All this right behind Eric Norris. Jason Small is in position there to challenge for that spot as well. Steve Portingay is the leader of the Napa Auto Parts 200 at Portland. We're coming back in just a minute on Speedvision.
Some people think that cystic fibrosis just makes it hard for kids to breathe. We could live with that. The truth is, CF is slowly shutting down my daughter's lungs and choking off her life. Imagine watching your child live like that and die like that. But today, your help is leading to great discoveries and finally giving me real hope. Please don't let CF take Cassandra away from me. You can help keep us together for life.
When it's time to sell your home, accessing the most effective home selling service in the information age is as easy as point and click. The Real Estate Teleguide is your best source for local real estate listings. We're there for home buyers 24 hours a day, big as life and as close as the remote control. Drop by, make yourself at home. Ask your real estate professional about showing your home on television. The Real Estate Teleguide. Check your local listings.
The new Bic Soft Twin. Dual lubricating strips, pivoting head, soft feel grip. Bic. It's all you need.
The only thing I like better than winning races is reading Cycle News.
Cycle News is America's weekly motorcycle newspaper. In the wind, interviews, same-week coverage of major events, local, national, and world championship calendars, want ads, and more. To subscribe, call 1-800-325-2925 for America's #1 motorcycle newspaper.
Trust me, all the fast guys read Cycle News.
Be like Nikki. Subscribe to Cycle News.
Back at Portland, just past halfway in the Napa Auto Parts 200 for the NASCAR Winston West Series. You're looking at the second leader of the race, Steve Portingay. After Jeff Jefferson, the pole sitter, led the first 93 laps. Portingay took over when Jefferson pitted for left side tires under caution. Portingay is led from lap 94 to where we are now. You can see, though, growing closer to his back bumper is Brendan Gaughan in the blue and gold Napa machine there, the number 16. The current Winston West Series championship leader starting to close in.
Just a great call by Freddie Graves down there in the pits to get 4 tires on that car. He's starting to close in and make a race out of this deal. Look at Brendan running right up on the back of that Roto-Rooter Chevrolet.
Remember, Portengay with the original left side tires he had on at the start of the race. Farther back, good race for position as Kevin Richards looks to the inside of Bill Sedgwick for a spot. And Jeff Jefferson behind, poking his nose underneath Jason Small.
Richards a factor in the points battle and started deep in the field in 15th, but you can see he's beginning to work that car to the front of the field, racing up alongside Bill Sedgwick. You know, in the last 13 years of this race, there's been 12 different winners. And some of the guys that have won this race, Chad Little, Derek Cope, Kenny Schrader, the only guy that's won it twice in the last 13 years, you're looking at him, Bill Sedgwick. So this cat knows what he's doing.
Sedgwick racing with Richards for 4th and 5th spots. Richard maybe with his best run yet, Adam. Look at the car bouncing off turn 4.
I like that.
Sideways, and he's hammering.
You think Kevin Richards cares at all about the fact that Bill Sedgwick is the only guy in the last 13 years to run it twice?
No, probably not.
He just wants to get that spot, and he gets it and brings Jeff Jefferson along with him. It looks like they're lined up on old Sedgwick here a little bit. A lot of cars right behind him. A lot of times when you see a cloud of cars like that and the guy in the front's holding them up, and when they get a break on him, it's over.
John Woodside smoking that right rear off of turn 4, trying to get it straight when his car got loose on him. 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th on back. 3rd is the Eric Norris car, the 32. Caught him just out of the picture frame there a minute ago. Now this is back as Woodside in the 45, works on Small in the 14.
Two distinctive lines there by those cats.
Yeah.
They go in the corner somewhat alike, but Small elects to run the top side off the corner, and you could see Woodside shooting to the bottom.
See all this from 3rd on back. Sedgwick in 6th, Small 7th, Woodside in 8th. And up front we go to the race for 3rd as now Richards begins applying pressure here to Eric Norris. He peeks to the inside in turn 1.
Heating Eric up a little bit there. He's bringing Jeff Jefferson with him, too. You can see Jefferson right against the bottom of the racetrack, dirt flying as he's taking that forward right down to the bottom of the track. This is 3rd all the way back to 10th, basically lined up here in a good battle here at past halfway.
Eric Norris's car really looks like he's fighting it, but trying to hang on and not lose too much track position here. And it is now the man who led the first 93 laps of the race, Jeff Jefferson, who's all over his back bumper. Behind him, Jason Small's going to try the outside on Bill Sedgwick.
We said he likes running around the top side off these turns. He's made it work. He got it alongside Sedgwick. Looks like he's going to complete the pass. You could see Jefferson right down on the bottom trying to get alongside Eric Norris.
So the leader is Steve Portengay, while the early leader in the event, Jeff Jefferson, tries to work his way back up through traffic and up to the front.
Are you tired of cleaning over and over again, only to have the same old stains come right back? Then don't clean your kitchen or bathroom. Zap it! Presenting Zap 2000, the professional strength restorer used by contractors for over 7 years. Zap 2000 is as easy as 1, 2, 3. Just pour it on, let it sit, and wipe it off. And in minutes, your surfaces are back like new. Zap 2000 is a restorer, not a cleaner. Ordinary cleaners only work on surface dirt, but Zap 2000 actually penetrates stains to restore surfaces to their original new shine.
You pour it out, you leave it set. There's no rubbing, there's no scrubbing. You go back a couple of minutes later and you just wipe it up, and it's all done.
This shower head is clogged with hard water and mineral deposits. But look, after just one application with Zap 2000, it's restored like new. And watch as Zap 2000 goes to work on this old garden shovel. Years of rust just melt away. Zap 2000 with its fresh wintergreen scent works on porcelain, chrome, fiberglass, toilet bowls, rust, even hard water stains. In fact, Zap 2000 is so effective, it's guaranteed to remove any stain from any of these surfaces or your money back.
It restored my grout to bright white. It cleaned my tile, the bathroom surfaces. It lifted that soap scum off, cleans the hard water stains, the rust, and the smell is fantastic.
Zap 2000 is so concentrated, just one bottle replaces over $50 worth of ordinary cleaners. Call now and receive Zap 2000 Restorer plus Zap 2000 Easy Spray Cleaner and 2 industrial Zap pads, all for only $19.95. But wait, call in the next 5 minutes and we'll double your order for free. That's right, 4 bottles of Zap 2000 for only $19.95. Operators are standing by, so call the toll-free number or send check or money order to Zap 2000, Box 2220, Agora Hills, California, 91376. Remember, call in the next 5 minutes to receive 2 free bottles of Zap 2000. Order now.
Beginning August 11th, the needle hits the red zone on Speedvision. Turn on the hottest cars on the McGuire Awards. Then the B10 shift gears for the tight turns at Hungary. Plus, Audi leads the pack as the American Le Mans Series continues at Motorsports. That's the McGuire Awards, live F1 from Hungary, and the American Le Mans Series at Motorsport, only on Speedvision.
Looking at a terrific race for spots in the top 5 as we come back on Speedvision to Portland Speedway in Portland, Oregon, the NASCAR Winston West Series in the NAPA Auto Parts 200. The race lead is in the hands of Steve Portingay, but behind him, Brendan Gaughan in second, and now a terrific fight for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Jeff Jefferson is hammering on everybody.
Those guys are all racing for position right through there. Just a great battle. It looks like Jason Small's got a real good car right here. Like you said, Alan, Eric Norris is really fighting to get a hold of that thing coming up off the corner once you get loose with him. And we can see Jason trying to make his way by there. He made the pass on Sedgwick around the outside. Now he shot her to the bottom. That shows a car that's really working well. He can take it wherever the other guys aren't. He can hit that part of the racetrack. Uh-oh.
Trouble in the corner. John Metcalf is around. Scott Gaylord's burning the right rear off it.
You think there's some oil there?
I don't know. Both of them kind of went around quickly. Caution is out. Lap 128, fourth one of the race. As Metcalf fires his machine up and gets going again before he would lose a lap. And the pace car will pick up the field once more and slow the proceedings here in Portland. There's John Metcalf.
That was weird. You don't usually see two cars simultaneously turn sideways. Let's see if we can pick up anything from the in-car here. Unless they contact each other, which is what happened.
There we go. The in-car cameras will always tell us the real story.
That's great that we have those.
And after sliding like that on those tires, I would say Metcalf's probably going to want some new ones. Let's see how many of the leaders do come to pit road here. At lap number 129, Metcalf trying to catch up to the rest of the field. Believe he stayed on the lead lap.
I believe he did too.
And indeed he did, we get confirmation of. So Metcalf coming back around to the tail end of the field here. And when they open the pit lane, we'll see who comes down for fresh rubber. Everybody was in a little earlier for mostly right side tires. Brendan Gaughan got 4 earlier. Then Jeff Jefferson came back in on a subsequent caution and got lefts.
I was talking to some of the crews earlier today, and they said these tires just don't give up. They don't wear out. The speed stays with them. So it'll be interesting to see who does what here. That's Portingay's crew chief right there. Ron Harridge discussing things with the crew. It looks like those guys are poised to make a stop, but
up come the tires, up come the guns, the air guns. So pit road is open there. You see the little green flag being held by the Winston West official down on the inside at the exit of turn 4. And here comes Portingay to the opening of pit road on the inside of turn number 1. So this will be with 70 laps to go.
And look, no one elected to follow him. None of the front 5 anyway. So it
looks like Portingay will come around to the attention of his crew here. Larry Naston is in the leader's pit to give us an update on what happens on the stop.
The leader, Steve Portingay, brings the Roto-Rooter Monte Carlo to the attention of his crew chief, Ron Harridge and crew. See what they can do. Now, remember, they've got to make this change as quick as possible because this very well could put him in second or the lead, depending on the pit stop. Here he goes. Steve Portingay got a good stop underway.
Left side tires there on Portingay's machine. Remember, he took rights on his first pit stop earlier. Brendan Gaughan, though, and most of the other front runners stayed on track.
Yeah, I don't think that's quite going to work out like Larry thought. It looked like most of the field stayed on the racetrack, and that's interesting. It looks like a one-stop race or 2 stops for the guys that have put on 4, and these guys are not going to...
not going to give up the track position.
Not going to give up the track position. You see Bogart coming in there, but he's a couple laps down.
The lap cars now pitting here. So Brendan Gaughan's team choosing to leave him on the speedway. He takes over the race lead. Larry has moved up to talk with his crew now and find out what the thinking is by not stopping here.
Fred Graves, the crew chief for Brendan Gaughan. You rolled the dice. You didn't bring him in. What's the story?
Well, the tire wear is excellent, and gas mileage is fine, so we're good to go to the end. We got an overdrive transmission there. He said the right rear was getting a little warm, so he put it back in overdrive and let it cool off, so I think we're okay.
All right, we'll see if their luck holds out.
Want to briefly explain the overdrive transmission thing there, Mike?
Yeah, what they do is they'll pick the gear they want to race and make that 1-to-1 and usually run it through third gear. And then as the tires get heated up or you go along in a run and you don't want to abuse the rear tires, keep that power down. You know that loud noise we're hearing as these guys race up off the corner? They can drop it back into fourth gear, which is actually 0.96 to 1. So instead of running, or 9.3, whatever they choose, but instead of running full power, it's pretty much like, well, it's an overdrive transmission. You lose some RPMs, and that makes the car not so abusive to those rear tires as you exit to the corners. You can see Portingay, he pitted and got 2, slipped back in there and got another 2 since nobody else pitted, and he's going to restart at the end of the field.
Take a break, come back for the restart in just a minute.
You know, NASCAR's been a part of my family for almost 30 years. First of all, I got in this business because I'm a race fan. I went to races as a little kid. I'm going to miss the people. I'm going to miss hanging out in the garage with the guys, the camaraderie, that bumping and grinding that we do on Sunday. The fans, the drivers, the crews, it's just a way of life. For 40 years, I've gotten up on Sunday, put my helmet on, and raced. I'm really going to miss it.
We got movement! Go, go, go! Hang on, light.
The next generation Subaru Outback comes standard with full-time all-wheel drive.
There it is! Over there!
It delivers incredible traction and control.
I see it!
So you can always be ready to face the unknown.
Did you see the size of that thing?
Yeah. They're kind of cute when they're babies.
Outback, the world's first sport utility wagon from Subaru.
Burger King asks, could you love 2 chicken club sandwiches at the same time? Could you long for the crispy chicken and sizzling bacon of a Burger King chicken club, yet still cherish the juicy, flame-broiled taste of chicken and bacon in our new BK Broiler Club? Sure you could. But if you're going to love them both, here's a little tip. Don't ever call one by the other's name.
Got the urge?
OLN is your ticket to adventure to the amazing Himalayas. To find out where, watch OLN's exclusive primetime coverage of the Ray Gawaz, August 23rd at 8. For details and to enter, click on away.com, and away you'll go.
Back at Portland, the running order has been shuffled in the Napa Auto Parts 200. Pace car is off, and we're going to go back green flag racing with Brendan Gaughan becoming the 3rd different leader of the event. He took the lead with 70 laps to go, staying on the track when Steve Portingay came in for a pit stop. Kevin Richards is 2nd. Jason Small is 3rd. They also did not stop under this caution flag. 4th place runner Scott Gaylord, and then you'll find Kevin Culver in 5th, followed by some of the others who were leaders earlier in the race. The 95 car Jeff Jefferson now coming up to speed, and we're back at it once more.
Restarts are always exciting on these little half-mile racetracks. See those guys all funnel into turn 1 and battle over space there.
Eric Norris and Bobby Dotter, you saw on some of the caution flag pit stops we showed you earlier, coming in 4 tires, so they're well back in this traffic also. As the leader, Brendan Gaughan, quickly gets away. There's Dan Obrist up in the marbles off turn 4.
Gets her under control.
Somehow managed to keep it off the wall. Good piece of driving there. You know, as many laps as he's run here at Portland over the years in Winston West and Truck Series and just weekly racing competition, he's been up in the marbles a time or 2 there, so he knows how to keep it off the wall when he gets up out of the groove.
Yeah, the fact that the groove's real wide helps that, too. You can see there, Gaughan all the way up in that second groove there as he works his way down the back straightaway at picturesque Portland Speedway. Look at all those trees and stuff going around here. It's pretty, isn't it?
Troubles for Scott Gaylord, was running 4th on the restart. Now he is off the pace as the field goes by him. So the Colorado driver in trouble here just past midway in this Napa Auto Parts 200 at Portland. See if Gaylord heads for pit road. You would think he would be as he's off the pace. We are still under the green flag, though. No caution here.
What's wrong with that car? That's weird. No smoke, no sign of any problem. The tires all look up, and Gaylord's going to the pits. Maybe it's an ignition problem, Alan. maybe the things quit running on him and have to switch boxes. Sometimes you can do that on board, and other times on these short track cars you can't.
You know, when he had that car half sideways before, when he and Metcalf made contact, maybe, you know, that just put a strain on the drive line in some fashion and forced something to break.
Maybe hurt something in the drivetrain, like you're saying. Yeah. You got to like Fred Graves on your side if you're going to race a race and you need a little bit of savvy experience. They've slipped an overdrive transmission in this little hot rod, like you said. Brendan's got the lead right now. It's the perfect time to pull it back and forth, take away some of the RPMs, and just try to cruise a little bit and save those tires. Take care of them until you get to the end of the race. You can see there's 4 tires right there. Portengay came in, got him 4 tires. He gave up a lot of track position. It'll be interesting to see if he can make his way back to the front. He looks like he's making shambles of the people he's coming across, though.
He just took 9th spot away from John Metcalf. He's trying to get 8th spot away from Eric Norris, and he'll do so into turn number 3.
Another smart move by that crew. They came in and got 2. When they saw no one came with them, they didn't have anything to lose by coming back in and getting 2 more, and they got 4 fresh tires on that hot rod right now. You can see
he is using them up.
He is driving the heck out of that car. You can see Kevin Culver there. He's a native of Portland, Oregon. He decided he needed the bottom worse than Eric Norris did and just chopped him off.
83 car, Rick Bogart, not on the lead lap. The 05 and the 32R. And now Portengay by the 98 of Culver to pick up yet another spot. So Portengay using those 4 fresh tires to his advantage, trying to make as much time as he can through the field here.
Then this is the time when you'd want that 3rd gear. You'd want lower gear right now because your tires are fresh. You can get on the gas and shoot that thing off the corner and not worry about abusing them because he's got too much ground to make up to worry about taking care of his tires right now. Look at all the cars between him and where he wants to be.
Here's Mike Duncan in the 9 back on track. We saw him go onto the pit lane earlier with smoke out from under the machine, but the crew has effected repairs and gotten him back out onto the racetrack. Next up, Butch Miller in the 20. He is not on the lead lap. He's a couple of laps down. For Portengay, as we watch him march through, look at that, changing lanes outside to inside to deal with the lap traffic off turn 4.
You want to know something that makes you really feel like the man? Put your 4 tires on when nobody else gets any. You start racing down people and driving around them, you think, man, I can win this race, but
your bravery level suddenly comes up a bit, huh?
It goes way up. The only problem is the cat out in front just kind of cruising, taking care of his stuff, and he's got a big gap on you, so you got your work cut out from you. What he needs is a couple of timely cautions. Close up the field and let him take advantage of those tires and shoot back to the front.
Beginning to close on Sean Woodside to work him over for the 6th position now is Steve Portengay. As we're watching the driver from Sparks, Nevada, who led from lap 94 to lap 129, gave up the lead for pit stops out of that last caution, try and bomb his way back up through the field. There he goes up underneath Woodside off of turn number 2 and down the Portland backstretch.
I think that's a good way to describe what he's doing, bombing his way through the field.
It was either that or the old roller derby term of jamming. He's jamming at this point. I mean, he really is. He's that much faster than a lot of guys because his tires are that much fresher.
Yeah, and this is a strategy call. You know, these guys stopped halfway or passed halfway, and no one else elected to. So the crew can either winning the race in this instance, or it didn't look like he had anything to beat Jeff Jefferson anyway. So what they've done is given themselves a chance to win the race. Maybe he can pull it off.
Brendan Gaughan's your leader, 2/3 of the way through the Napa Auto Parts 200.
The Eastern world.
Sod Digital Cable has just added a whole new level of entertainment. Game Show Network, Black Entertainment Television, BBC World, and Court TV. All for only $1.79 a month. See it on Sod Digital.
Every race, every moment live. Tomorrow, will McLaren keep up the speed as Schumi hits his hometown curve? Don't miss the F1 German Grand Prix. Live, only on Speedvision.
Be there. Checking the tires at Portland in the NAPA Auto Parts 200 for the NASCAR Winston West Series. Things getting hot at several spots throughout the pack. Your leader is Brendan Gaughan. He's beginning to feel some pressure for the lead as some close on him. Kevin Richards and Jason Small and Jeff Jefferson running the 2nd through 4th positions. And now you look at some of the racing back in the field as the car of Kevin Culver tries to hold off John Metcalf for a spot. And this is for the 8th and 9th positions.
Culver, this is his hometown, so he's got a lot of fans in the stands watching this battle intently.
Here goes 2nd spot. Kevin Richards is up out of the groove. Up underneath him is Jeff Jefferson. Jefferson goes to the number 2 position. Here's Sedgwick for 3rd. He's got it.
I think it's interesting that, and look who's closed right in on this battle. He's there.
Steve Fresh Tires Portingay.
I think it's interesting the way Sedgwick's been able to hang around. We haven't really made a big deal out of his performance today. He hasn't really turned our heads in any way, but not like Portingay has anyway. But yet, here we are into the last 50 laps of the race, and Sedgwick has been able to keep that thing. Now he's in 3rd place, and the leader's right up there. He's like 10 car lengths out of the lead.
Change for 4th. Portingay. Thank you very much, Kevin. Around him for the number 4 spot as Richards beginning to show, I think, the age on his tires, as his car is really sliding around a lot here at this point in the event.
I think Portingay and his team have taught all these people a lesson. You know, it's okay to come in late in the race and get 4 tires at this racetrack. You can make up the ground. I'm going to go out on a limb here. I think this cat's got what it takes today to win this race. He's proven that he's faster than everybody. He's able to get hard on the gas. You don't see the car turning sideways. Even though he's being real aggressive, it's still coming up off the turn real straight. He's got the leaders in sight. He's come from a long way back.
Tell you what, Brendan Gaughan's got a lot of company right now.
He
Not
does.
just Portingay. Here's Jeff Jefferson closing up on him. Sedgwick is closing in, so the handles on Brendan Gaughan's machine apparently starting to fade a little bit, and he is starting to feel a lot of pressure for the race lead.
Well, you're looking at out of the 4 cars in the first 4 positions, 3 of them are the only ones that have 4 fresh tires. Sedgwick has been able to make his 2 tires work, but everybody else is on 4 fresh tires. So we talked about the importance of the crews helping the drivers win the race, and we're seeing that play out here.
Jeff Jefferson led the first 93 laps of the race. After starting on pole position, he took on 2 tires on 1 caution, came back in and got another 2 tires as Brendan Gaughan really fights his machine.
He's dancing with that thing, isn't he? Watch his hand. You can see his right hand there. Nice light grip on the wheel. I like that. Listen to his foot. Working the gas down, but yet that thing won't stay up under him. He wants to spin out.
Little wide going into 1. Is that the opening Jefferson wanted? Here comes Portingay, meantime, with a run up to the outside of Sedgwick for 3rd spot.
Well, this ought to be easy, shouldn't it? He's just driving right around them.
Have you ever done anything in racing that's been easy?
Well, I mean, seemingly.
Okay.
And hearing you guys tell it, maybe I should say. You reporter types, you know, you figure it all out that it's all easy.
No, blame it on the media. That's always a convenient crutch. So Portingay to 3rd, behind Jefferson. Jefferson wide. Portingay with a look underneath him for 2nd. Now Jefferson slams the door shut.
Are you beginning to agree with me, though, perhaps? This could be...
Boy, I'll tell you, there's still a pretty long way to go, though.
Yeah, and he's been real hard on those tires, too.
He's run them hard.
Yeah, to this point. So maybe I shouldn't be so quick to just to give Steve the trophy.
Yeah, but it's fun when you hang yourself out like that and you're wrong.
Yeah, especially when you have a good...
Oh, trouble. Kevin Culver sideways across the racetrack.
Not what the Portland native wanted to have happen here, but he's able to remain on the lead lap.
Caution is out. 34 laps to go.
Now, if I was Kevin Culver, I'd get me 4 tires on that thing. Go race them.
Kevin Culver, 42-year-old from here in Portland. 5th in Winston West points in 1997, but he's not run much the last few years. 98, 99, or here in 2000. In fact, this is his first start in the Winston West Series in the 2000 campaign, and he is in trouble bringing us out the caution flag for the 5th time in this race. A little damage there to the Herschel McGriff machine. Wonder if he was involved in that incident.
That's a good question. I imagine you might be onto something there. They're all coming to pit road. There's Richards, Small. This is maybe a little late, but if these cats have seen the move that Steve Portingay's put on people in the last 30, 40 laps, maybe they figure they got enough time to get to the front.
10 cars on the lead lap, so 34 laps to go, probably about when we go back racing. I don't think it's too late.
I don't either. I'm agreeing with you, Alan. Especially if I'm 5th, 6th, 7th, or 8th, I want a chance to win the race. I'm going to come in, get me 4 tires, and go race them. I've just, I would have had, I hope my crew chief would have been watching what Portengate done.
Uh-oh, trouble for Richards. Trouble on the right front. And they've come around and already started working on the left sides. That's going to be a problem.
And now we know.
Get the car back up in the air.
We know there's not enough time. We've seen it. You know, they get 2 tires on a normal pit stop, and they can't get it done before the safety car gets back around. So, see there, lost the lap.
Did not make it. So Kevin Richards, second in Winston West points, coming into this race in trouble on pit road, and he goes a lap down in the final stages of this Napa Auto Parts 200 here in Portland. Wow.
And that's a shame, especially when you factor in the big picture. You know, they're racing for the championship, and this is costly, but only 10 cars on the lead lap, so
you can probably about see the steam coming out of his ears from the helmet and out through the window net there while he sat there with the official holding the stop sign in front of him.
That's painful, I can promise you that.
Take a break, come back for the final laps of this event in a minute. Stay with us.
He's won the NASCAR Winston Cup Championship an amazing 7 times. There's never been a race car driver like him. He's Dale Earnhardt. To honor him, we proudly introduce the official Dale Earnhardt clock. Yes, now you can bring the racing excitement of Dale Earnhardt right into your home. This thrilling clock features Dale's famous number 3 car, along with his very own signature and a salute to his championship years. But that's just the beginning. And there they go. Every hour on the hour, a race begins with authentic racing sounds. As a miniature replica of number 3 roars around the clock, you'll hear the exciting finish. And the winner is Dale Earnhardt. Hang this fantastic clock in your home, and everyone will be congratulating you. It'll be dynamite in your den, great in your garage, and terrific in your TV room. You can even put it in any bedroom because the built-in light sensor keeps the sound effect quiet at night. Wherever you put it, the accurate quartz movement makes this a clock you can rely on. Rookie of the Year, Winston Cup Series champion, NMPA Driver of the Year, and more. Dale Earnhardt has achieved virtually every racing honor there is. And now you, too, can be a winner with the Dale Earnhardt clock. Imagine what a great gift this will make for any race car enthusiast. Each clock comes with its own individually numbered certificate of authenticity, attesting that this is an officially licensed Dale Earnhardt collectible. It's yours now for only $19.95. Guaranteed to delight you or your money back. Don't delay. Order your Dale Earnhardt clock now.
To order your Dale Earnhardt clock, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-743-5300 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to Dale Earnhardt Clock, 6960 Eastgate Boulevard, Lebanon, Tennessee. But for quicker service, call 1-800-743-5300.
Getting down to the final stages of the Napa Auto Parts 200 for the NASCAR Winston West Series here on Speedvision from Portland, Oregon. Alan Bestwick, Michael Waltrip, and Larry Naston with you. Brendan Gaughan is the leader. Jeff Jefferson is second. Steve Portengay is third. Bobby Daughter, the first car, a lap down to the inside as we get set to go back racing. A couple of cars stopped and took on fresher tires under this caution. They are trapped fairly well back in traffic, not only to the rear of the lead cars that stayed on the track, but also behind all these lap machines lined up to their inside. It's a lot of traffic to go through. Maybe I want to recant my statement of a minute ago about why not the tires.
That's exactly right. That if you restart, say you restart 10th, last car on the lead lap, you're really restarting 20th when the lap cars line up beside you. This is maybe I kind of thought this would be just what Portengay needed, a chance to cool those tires after being so hard on them.
Here's a move for the lead. Jeff Jefferson gets underneath Brendan Gaughan off turn 4. Gaughan washing way wide in the middle of turn 3. He's wide again in 1 and 2. Jefferson is up underneath him.
Gaughan makes it work on the outside. Holding them off. Look at there.
Way deep into the corner.
It's going to work this time.
Way deep into turn 3. Jeff Jefferson goes back out in front with 30 laps to go. He led the first 93 laps of the event, has been back in the top 7 or 8, working his way forward after a pit stop earlier. Now he takes over the lead as we get down to the final 30 laps.
Well, he's looking good now. See how long it takes Portengate to dispose of Gone so that he can see if he can't heat up Jefferson a little bit. You got Portengate, who's a veteran of this series, and Jefferson a rookie, so if he can get to his bumper, maybe he can force him into a mistake.
Try and rattle his cage.
Why not?
As we spoke earlier.
But Brendan looks like he's got things back under control. He shot her down into turn 3 there in a hurry, didn't he? He was trying to... We talk about being smart and being aggressive. When he was back mired in 15, 16 spot, he took his time. He let his crew vault him from that place in the field up to the top 5. Then when he was on the lead, you could see his aggressiveness. He wanted to keep that lead. He shot that thing down in turn 3 and got away from him a little bit.
Just drove it in there too deep, or would possibly brakes be a factor at this point in the race?
Considering what we're seeing now, that he has it back under control, I think he just was a cat that wanted to win the race. He wanted to try to keep the 95 car pinned to the bottom of the racetrack, so he shot her on down in there pretty good, and maybe just a little bit too far. It looks like the car's working good here. In fact, it's working better than it was before the caution, but here comes Portengate on the inside.
Oh, trouble. Jason Small has spun around, trying to get back across traffic. Before he might lose a lap, Small has been on the lead lap throughout. He gets it fired up, caution is out, and there's another spin. Kevin Culver's around off turn 4. So synchronized spins at opposite ends of the Portland Speedway, and it puts us under the yellow flag for the 6th time in this Napa Auto Parts 200.
Culver's been running well here at his home track, but
and Jason Small was too. He was on the lead lap also.
Both those cars running good, and they've experienced some late problems here.
Where's Jason going?
See if they elect to come in and get some more tires, or if they're happy with the ones they got.
Looking at our Jenny King major movers, Brendan Gaughan starting 17th, up to the number 2 spot. I guess he'd be the major mover of the night so far. Culver going to come in and get some tires? Well, maybe not.
Let's just dive over the edge there.
See him bend up the front air dam on the car when he came back across?
Yeah, but believe it or not, he bent it out in a good way. Got a little bit more front down force on her.
See if it helps in the final laps. Caution is out. The Napa Auto Parts 200 at Portland on Speedvision.
Television, but I like to watch a lot of movies. And I think digital cable is perfect if you like to watch a lot of movies. You can actually tailor your package for yourself. And there's so much choice, it's unbelievable. We've all done it. We've all rented a movie from the video store that we didn't even want to watch because it was the only thing there. You didn't watch it. You forgot it at home for a day. You spent $10 for a movie you didn't even watch. I think the digital image is great. The sound is great. It's a major improvement over the way we used to watch TV 5 years ago.
The Golf Channel and MaxFly present the MVP Sweepstakes. Enter now for a chance to win a full week at the breathtaking Kiowa Island Golf Resort. A round of golf with John Elway and access to all tournament activities during the MaxFly Celebrity Challenge Golf Tournament. Plus, you could win golf bags, irons, and a lifetime supply of MaxFly Revolution golf balls. Enter now at thegolfchannel.com for your chance to be an MVP.
American Thunder then goes down under with Australian touring cars. And it's David Carradine and Fast Charlie, the Moonbeam Rider. That's American Thunder at 7 Eastern. Australian Super Touring Cars at 8 and Lost Drive-In at 11.
If anybody watches these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series races, they'll understand what trading paint is.
You definitely do a lot of bumping and rubbing with 5 to go.
It is the very best racing car, side-by-side competitive racing I've been going.
Once the green flag drops, there's no friends on the racetrack. I come in and race against these guys, and they kick me, they run over me, they tear the sides off my truck.
The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. This is NASCAR.
Getting down to the final stages of the Napa Auto Parts 200 at Portland for the NASCAR Winston West Series. Jeff Jefferson took the lead just shortly before the caution flag from Brendan Gaughan. The yellow out for spins. Same time opposite ends of the Speedway by Kevin Culver and Jason Small. And now we're going to rack them up and go back at it again. And Brendan Gaughan gets another shot, if you will, at reclaiming the lead from Jeff Jefferson. He's got the lap car. Jefferson does of Bobby Dotter down to his inside. And here we go as the green flag is back in the air. Good start.
Great start. I think I've changed my mind, Alan. It doesn't look like the 3 is going to be able to get there. Jefferson gets a great start there. Look at the gap he gets, just virtue of starting on front as opposed to third. And then also it looks like the Gone machine has rekindled some of its speed by having a chance to cool his tires underneath these cautions. He's still real steady at this point instead of sliding all over the place like we saw earlier. So it's going to take Portengay a little bit of time to work by him.
20 laps to go.
I'm going to get out of the prediction business one of these weeks here on this show. I haven't been too good at it, but I just thought it looked like Portengay was going to get there, and it doesn't look like it's going to work out. But you never know. There's still 20 laps to go, and that's 40 turns, and that's a lot of chances for mistakes.
Riding with Brendan Gaughan in the Napa machine as he tries to do something with Jeff Jefferson. Right now, all he's doing is losing ground, though, as you see our Napa field summary at lap number 180.
I think he's gone more into the defensive mode. Look at there, diving down. Look at that car sideways.
I think Portengay's fresh tire advantage is gone at this point.
Yeah.
He's used them up pretty hard trying to get back up through the traffic.
I'm glad he did it, though. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And then there's steady Bill Sedgwick. Like I said, the only guy in the last 13 years to win this race more than once. And he's proven that he knows how to get around Portland. He's right there with the leaders.
Bill Sedgwick ran second for pretty good part of the early laps in this race. Never got up and really challenged for the lead, but he was right there behind Jeff Jefferson and got shuffled back a little bit by pit stops and pit strategy. And he has been in the top 5 most of this race. He's just been up there 4th, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, just about the entire 200 laps.
A real steady run. I think it'd be interesting to know right now what gear Brendan's got that thing in.
The overdrive or the...
Yeah, whether he's in 3rd, trying to break his way away from Portengay, or if he's got it in 4th, trying to keep from spinning the tires. It'd be something that, as a driver, I would think you'd play with. You know, you'd run it in 3rd one lap and see how that looked, and then run it in 4th a lap or 2 and see how that would work out. And I'm sure he's experimenting with that. And I bet you old Freddie Graves is on the radio helping him out.
I saw Sedgwick shoot up the racetrack there going into turn 1. Here's Steve Portengay. Wow, that's a late break-in maneuver into turn 3.
Man, he dove in there, didn't he?
Boy. So Portengay around. Brendan Gaughan for 2nd spot. Brendan with a look back to the inside, but that's not going to work. All things considered, though, for Brendan Gaughan, if he's able to finish in the top 5, his title rival, or his principal title rival, Kevin Richards, got pinned a lap down earlier when he had a problem on a pit stop. And so he is back outside of the top 10, and it will be a productive night championship-wise for Brendan if he's able to hang on to that number 3 position. Let's talk about Jeff Jefferson for a minute. 28-year-old son of George Jefferson, who's been a championship owner for some 30 years in the NASCAR Winston West Series. He's had a lot of big names in his car over the years, names you would recognize like Derek Cope and Chad Little, but I think a victory with his son, Jeff, behind the wheel here in Portland would be very special, perhaps the most special win he's ever had, indeed.
I'd say it'd be quite rewarding that he's 8 races into his Winston West season here. He's already visited Victory Lane. There's his crew chief, Rich Chillicott, looking things over rather anxiously, I would bet, late in the going here.
Take a break, come back for the finish of the Napa Auto Parts 200 at Portland. Stay with us here on Speedvision. We'll be right back.
This week's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Report is presented by Mopar. Parts for Chrysler, Plymouth, Dodge, and Jeep vehicles from the dealerships that sell and install them. That's the Mopar difference.
I'm Alan Bestwick. The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series raced at the Michigan Speedway on Saturday afternoon. It was the Michigan 200, and Greg Biffle was the dominant player of the day. He led 90 of the 100 laps in the event, but in the final miles had to hold off furious tries by his teammate Kurt Busch in the 99 behind him there, and Mike Wallace to his left, or actually your left as you look at it, but in the end it was Biffle who managed to score his 5th win in 17 races this season and his 14th career Truck Series win. Jack Sprague losing more ground in the championship race, finishing in 13th position. And so the points after the Michigan race look like this. 193 from Biffle to Mike Wallace. The trucks at Indianapolis a week from Thursday.
Stay tuned to Speedvision for the next Mopar Craftsman Truck Report. parts for these vehicles and yours. That's the Mopar difference.
This summer on OLN, shark files swim straight into the jaws of this legendary and deadly animal. And the Cousteau Chronicles encounters amazing cultures and creatures down under. Untamed Tuesdays, only on OLN.
Getting down to the final laps of the Napa Auto Parts 200 for the NASCAR Winston West Series here in Portland, Oregon. Brendan Gaughan falling back from the lead. Now to race with Bill Sedgwick for third spot behind Jeff Jefferson and Steve Portingay, who hold the top two spots.
I guarantee you Brendan Gaughan knew that Portingay had on a little bit better tires and gave that position up unwillingly, but when he gave it up, now he's in the title defense mode. He doesn't want Bill Sedgwick to get around. He doesn't want to lose any more ground to these guys that are up front. He wants to make sure he gets the most points that he possibly can. So he's not going to want to give up this spot.
Right now, his title rival, Kevin Richards, is running back in 12th position, one lap down. So you're right, he wants to hang on to all he can and maximize that advantage. And there's Jeff Jefferson, the leader. You look at his advantage over Portingay as the laps run out. Does Portingay have enough time? Does he have enough tire? Can he get up there and do anything with Jefferson? He's pretty good bit behind here.
He is, but man, we saw him a minute ago close in on Brendan Gaughan, didn't we? He shot down in that third turn and just made it work. And maybe he can close the gap. Like I said, if he can get on the back bumper of that Sloot Ford, it's going to get Jeff Jefferson's attention. I promise you that.
Now, Jefferson, maybe not as experienced as Portingay is, and if lap traffic comes to be a factor, that could play there.
Yeah, and it will become a factor on this little half-mile track. You can just count on it. We've been some 30, 40 laps since we've had a caution, and, you know, you're going to look at Brendan there trying to work that thing up off the corner. You're going to have lap traffic no matter how you look at it. It's going to happen.
Boy, Brendan has got his hands full.
He's lucky that Bill Sedgwick's on about the same kind, or if not, a little bit worse tires than he is, and that's enabling him to hold them off.
Brendan made his only stop before halfway for 4 tires. Took 2, came around, took 2 more. And for a while, it looked like the winning strategy, but it was Jeff Jefferson who took 2. The same time Gaughan took his first 2, then came back in about, 20 laps later and got the other 2 that has turned out to have the better performance at the end of the night.
Just a great call by the crews, changing up the strategy a little bit and making things work. You can see Sedgwick right down on the bottom of the racetrack trying to find a way to get around Brendan Gaughan. Just not happening.
5 laps to go in the race as you continue to watch the race for third. The yellow car just going out of your screen is the race leader, well ahead of this, going on between the 16 of Brendan Gaughan and the 44 of Bill Sedgwick. Again, 3rd and 4th positions.
Talk about traffic. We only got 2 of the original starters that are not on the racetrack right now. So looks like Jefferson has a clean racetrack in front of him right now, but still got 5 laps to go.
Gary Morris went out at lap number 84 with a transmission failure. Joe Bean with a crash back at lap number 89. Those 2 drivers out of the event, as Mike was referencing a moment ago. Getting down to the final few laps, Sedgwick continuing to hunt and search for a groove around Brendan Gaughan for 3rd spot. So far, it has not worked. You look back across the field now, watching the leader, Jeff Jefferson, work down the back straightaway into turn number 3. He'll get the 2-to-go signal, this time off of corner number 4.
One good thing about lap traffic at this track, too, Alan, we've talked about it. There's 2 grooves there. You can run on the bottom or you can run up top. So it's not like somebody's going to hold you up major when you catch them. And it doesn't look like anything's going to happen here. Portingay's about a straightaway behind Jeff Jefferson. It's just it's fun to watch old Jeff Jefferson, a rookie here, 28 years old, driving for his dad, getting ready to take the white flag and put his first Winston West victory in the books.
Final lap for the young driver, one of only 3 Fords in the field. There's his team looking on, cheering him on for the final time around Portland Speedway. Jeff Jefferson making his way around for the final time, looking to score Winston West Series victory number 1 here at Portland. Turn number 4, here he comes off the final corner, and it's going to happen for him. It is Jeff Jefferson with the checkered flag. He wins the Napa Auto Parts 200 in Portland, a dominating performance. He leads 125 of the 200 laps.
Can't do it much better than that. Get your first win by sitting on the pole, leading the most laps, and winning the race.
Great job. Getting congratulations from Steve Portingay and showing the emotion of scoring his first NASCAR Winston West Series win. Well, the final race on the pavement here in Portland was a pretty good one. And it was Jeff Jefferson, whose family has deep history here, who will hold the final winner's trophy in Winston West competition at this old veteran speedway. Jefferson rolling around toward the winner's circle, and we'll look forward to talking with him there momentarily. The crew awaiting.
It's a happy bunch right there.
Guaranteed.
We talked earlier, he's worked hard, but this is the first time all year he's been in a position to win a race, and he brings it home.
Going to take a victory lap, so we'll take a commercial break and catch up with Jeff Jefferson in victory lane in a moment.
You know, Robert Yates, Todd Parrott, the whole 88 team, they're not just people I work with, they're like family to me.
Families are real important in NASCAR. My father got me into it, and now it's my turn. Hey, can I borrow the keys to your car this weekend? No.
Families are great support, but I compete with my brother. So do the Burtons, the Wallaces, and we all want to win.
Hey, look, I love my brothers, but I'm not going to let them pass me on Sunday.
This is NASCAR.
Dad.
No.
I love working at Fridays. The food's great, and the people are awesome. I'm studying to be a nutritionist. So, when I heard we were using FIT to clean our fresh fruits and vegetables, I was curious. Well, I did my homework, and FIT really works. I could see the difference. And my customers, they're having more fun than ever.
Get it cleaner with FIT. Fridays does.
I may not always work here, but I'll definitely eat here.
Yeah.
Freedom is alive! It's here, brothers and sisters, a place where you can be free to ride your machines. Speedvision!
Saturday nights on Speedvision at 11 Eastern, it's Hot Rod and Biker Flicks at the Lost Drive-In. And the season revs up with Speedvision Road Racing F1 and everything that moves on motorcycles. Every week on Speedvision.
It's time to enter the light!
Feel the power of speed.
Speedvision's coverage of the NASCAR Winston West Series brought to you by Food for Less Supermarkets, by Jenny King, proud sponsor of Eric Norris, by Monaco Enterprises, providing home theater designs and installation, by NAPA, celebrating 75 years, NAPA, where NASCAR fans get their parts, by the Orleans Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada, and by REMAX, the real estate leader. 28-year-old Jeff Jefferson is in victory lane here at Portland Speedway in Oregon, having scored his first NASCAR Winston West Series win, a dominating performance. He led over half the event, getting on all the different things that are required in victory lane, and also taking a minute to gather his thoughts as well. Here he comes out of the car. Larry Naston is down there now with our winner's interview. Let's go hear from young Jeff Jefferson.
Jeff Jefferson taking victory in the NAPA 200. We talked to you at the beginning of the race. You were pumped, and guess what, man? You are in victory lane.
I can't believe it. It's just it's an honor to win the last race here at Portland, where the greats have run, like Herschel and Derek and Hornaday and Corelli and everybody. It's awesome. I can't believe it. I gotta thank Sloot.com and everybody that's helped. It's just, to come in here as a rookie and win is good.
You had a couple of points during the race where you really had to fight, taking gouge to get back up to the lead, and your crew chief, Rich Chillicothe, made some great calls on pit road.
Oh yeah, he did a good job. We just knew it'd come around. We took tires there and got out in about 5th or 6th because none of the others changed tires, and they finally had to come in, and then I had 4 to get, and I got them. The car was just perfect today. And I got to thank my dad, George Jefferson, for a great setup.
All right, that's Jeff Jefferson, winner of the NAPA 200.
And a big smile, well-deserved. Young man did a great job in winning this race. Why don't we take a look at the final results? And it was Jeff Jefferson scoring the win. Brendan Gaughan hangs on to 3rd spot and protects